Barb, okay. I'm watching the clock tick to 6:30. It's 6:29. Very close. All right, it's 6:30. I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is the City of Fairway, Kansas. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, 6:30 p.m. And this is our monthly City Council meeting. I have two announcements. First of all, I would like to introduce our City Attorney this evening, Anna Kerselich. Welcome, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
And she is filling in for Rich this evening. And second announcement I have, we are waiting for one of our council people to join us online. Hopefully he will. That's Lee Story, as we do not have a quorum. So we'll go ahead and proceed with the first part of the agenda through item 5, since none of that requires any action on the part of council. That's the monthly reports. Nathan, do you have anything else? Okay, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have one proclamation this evening that I would like to read into the record. It's concerning Native American Heritage Month. Whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by American Indians and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of American Indians have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of America today, and whereas their customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States, and whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976 and was recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. Now therefore, I, Melanie Hepperly, Mayor of the City of Fairway, do hereby proclaim November as National American Indian Heritage Month in the City of Fairway, Kansas, dated this 12th day of November, 2024. And I'd like to recognize Sandy Worth from the DAR chapter. Would you like to say a few words? And which chapter are you representing? Tomahawk? It is perfect. Welcome, Sandy. We are glad you're here. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for issuing this proclamation. As you said, I requested it on behalf of the American Indians Committee, which is the National Society. Focus is promoting knowledge of Native American culture, aiding Indian youths with donations and scholarships. Who is a member of the Wyandot Indian Nation of Kansas. She's also a member of the Tomahawk Chapter DA. A volunteer at the Shawnee Indian Mission. Both officers and many programs and events at the mission are a testament in preserving all the history that occurred here.
Mm-hmm. You can't sit down yet. Next on the agenda are the monthly reports of standing committees. Consolidated Fire District Number 2, you have the report in your packet. Chief Chick comes once a quarter, so we'll let his report stand as submitted. Administration and Finance, Nathan?
Thank you, Mayor. The Administration and Finance Committee meeting did occur on October 30th. A summary of all of the agenda items that were discussed is included in the report, both the Administration report and the Finance Committee report as well. So I'm not going to run through that whole list, but many of those items are appearing on our agenda in one form or another this evening. Happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Nathan? Okay, thank you, Nathan. You have Finance?
Finance report, the sales tax came in strong for October at just over $223,000, which was above the $195,000 budget. Earlier today, the mayor and Joe, myself, and our financial advisor, Dave Arterberry with Stifel, took part in a ratings call with S&P. And we should hear more back from them next week on whether or not our ratings will be changing. They have changed some of their criteria, and because our population was under 5,000, we sort of got flagged. And so we had a good discussion with them today, a little over an hour, just letting them know a little bit more about our community. And I don't think any of us really anticipate it's going to ultimately result in a change in our rating. So hopefully we'll hear good news next week.
Any questions for Nathan on Finance? The call really did go well. Well, we couldn't understand why we were getting the call, so we had some questions at the beginning. I hear that laugh, Joe. And because they've added a category of population below 5,000, and ours is 4,100, we are required to go through this reevaluation, I guess you would call it. And for cities under 5,000, you are automatically dropped one level. Am I saying that correctly? And in ratings, unless you are fiscally very sound and very successful city. So we did an excellent job. Nathan did an excellent job in presenting to them our financial position, and we answered his questions. I sold the city. I think he probably wanted to move here, although he lives in Florida, used to be in Denver. And so I'm hoping that we will keep our same rating because we have such a strong financial position. And Nathan didn't hear this while he was presenting, but after Nathan's comments, the gentleman we were speaking with kept saying, excellent, excellent. And, oh, that's good. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So I was real encouraged by that the call really did go well. Okay, moving on, please, Chief.
Thank you, Mayor. An overview of what occurred last month. We had more vehicle pursuits, one of which we've identified everyone, taken some people into custody in reference to that. One of the individuals decided to fight with us. He was in a neighboring jurisdiction. When we went and backed that officer, he was under the influence of either heroin or fentanyl. We had some accidents over the last month, and the big news that I want to tell the council about is I extended an offer to a tenured officer who's actually a sergeant outside of the metro, and he accepted. His first day will be December 1st.
Yay.
So I think more to come with some individuals from outside of the metro who have looked at who we are and are along the same lines of what you said. I mean, they're shocked at the culture and the way the city operates. So again, I'm very grateful to be here, and I know he's excited to start.
Great.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
That's good news, Chief. Any questions for the chief?
One,
Jerry?
Jerry Williams, Ward 2. Nathan, Nathan,
That's okay.
JP, does that mean we're fully staffed once the new officer comes on board?
No. I have another offer out to an individual who was deployed. He's scheduled to be back in April.
He's in Afghanistan.
Right. And then we also have a number of people that have followed suit with the new officer who have applied here as well. We are moving quickly on that. So I'm hoping that within the next month or two, we will essentially be fully staffed, which I'm ecstatic about.
We all are, Chief, but we know you really are. You and all of your officers,
Right.
yeah, because I know you've been putting in long hours, and it wears on you, I know.
All right. Thank
So
you.
You have good news tonight. Anyone else? Okay. Public Works, Bill?
Thank you, Mayor. I will also let my report stand as submitted. I would like to highlight a couple of things. One, we've had 1 full month now with our newest employee, Giovanni Rosales. He's fitting in fine, works well with everyone and picking up very quickly, not afraid to learn new trades, not afraid to learn the sweeper and or equipment, which is something he didn't get to do in his last job. So he's very excited for that and happy that we have a, for lack of a better term, calm environment. He was in a little bit of a tumultuous situation in his last job, just too many people, too many attitudes, and he likes the closeness that we have as opposed to the situation he was in before. The other thing I would like to point out is we have fully moved from fall to fell. So our street sweeper is out making the rounds constantly now. It will be ongoing for the foreseeable future. We have a detailed list from early October, and it's out working now, but be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Bill? Don't see any, Bill. Thank you. Parks and Rec, Bryce?
Check. There we go. Just wanted to highlight that we had our driveway trick or treat event last in October, and that is an event. Can you scroll down to my report? You'll see some pictures of some staff members that maybe you haven't seen like this before, but this is a true all-city event, so every department helps out with this. Obviously, the Park and Rec, and then we got Public Works that drives for us and helps us create the float. We have the police that I drove with Officer Rubio around the city, taking bags to every kid that signed up. And then we have admin, Abby and Jackie sit in the back. There we go. So our Assistant Director of Public Works, Chris Mann, right there, is in the incredible suit. Chuck is right next to him too, as part of the Public Works, and his son Chevy down there. And we have Renee, and then in the back of the truck we have Jackie from Admin Court, and then City Clerk Aldridge in the back there too. So it's a true all-city event that everybody really contributes. We get to sing the praises for it, but everybody contributes. So it's such a cool event, and I'm glad we're able to do that. We're, a city our size is able to do some unique things, and that's one of them. So that's really neat.
No, was it 80 homes?
Yeah, we had, let's see, that's
I
right.
think that's what I read.
Yeah, so 76 stops, 155 children. So very unique thing that we can offer the city, and we're excited that we get to have coworkers that work so well with us. So thank you all to all the departments that helped out. Other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Bryce? Don't see any, Bryce. Thank you. All right, That closes that section of the agenda. We'll now move on to monthly reports of special committees. The tree board did meet. Nathan, do you want to give that report, Bill? Bill, would you please give that report?
Sure. Sure, happy to. The biggest piece from the tree board meeting was we got to meet the new district forester for the Kansas State Forestry, Blaine Strobel. Other than that, the only other agenda item that we briefly looked through was the choice of trees for this year's planting. All the calls have gone out and Rick is eagerly fielding those, so we'll get going on those here shortly.
It's my understanding that we will complete planting all the trees that need to be replaced in the right-of-way that residents have requested a replacement tree.
Correct.
So there's
Correct.
no longer
And believe it or
a
not,
waiting
we've
list.
already added 3 or 4, I think, in the last couple of days.
Okay. So we will complete that this year and not be behind.
Except for the ones we're fielding now.
Right, okay. Our budget allowed us to do that this year, so that's great. Any questions for Bill? Nope, don't see any, Bill. Okay. That concludes our reports for the evening. Can I have public comment? Okay.
Not on the consent agenda, but we could go on to these items. Governing body comments, they can talk.
Okay.
Public comments as well.
So 9 and 10. All right. Since we do not have a quorum, first time this has ever happened, so according to council, we can move to items 9 and 10 and complete those because they do not require council action. Item 9 is governing body comment. During this time, members of the governing body will be given the opportunity to speak about matters related to the city. No formal action will be taken during this time on those items. Anyone on council have a comment that they'd like to make?
I have just one, Mayor. I was physically absent but verbally present last month, as you know, from my car on the way back from California. I couldn't hear it. I heard clapping really well, by the way, Nathan, on the proclamations, et cetera. But I did pick up Lee's comment in governing body comments about the appreciation for the new dog waste stations around town, and I wanted to echo those comments. They are a tremendous asset, and I really appreciate it. And I've only seen one wayward bag since then, which is good. So the
That's
number
good
of
news.
tossed on the side bags has gone down dramatically.
Good. Okay, anyone else? All right, I will close that part of the agenda. Item 10 is public comment for items not listed on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment this evening? Yes, please. If you'll come to the podium, turn the mic on, and your name and address for the record, please.
I am Dan O'Connell, and my address, did you say?
Name and address. Oh, you've
Dan-
given us your name. Did you turn it on? Yeah?
Dan
Okay.
O'Connell, and I'm at 3806 West 57th Terrace.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you all for serving, and thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. I was the person back in August who was proposing a change in the noise ordinance in the early morning hours. And since that meeting, I spoke with David and researched the issue more thoroughly in some of our surrounding cities. My desire for more peace and quiet in our lovely city is, I'm sure, something we would all like. Still, any change in an ordinance must be a balancing act because there are other parties who may have different ideas than mine. In talking with David, we tossed around different ideas and came to unanimity on the concept of more peace and quiet later in the day, rather than in the early morning hours as my previous proposal had requested. The current fairway noise ordinance runs from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. As part of my research, I found that there are many references to noise in the Fairway Code. Under Section 212, it states that, quote, "It shall be unlawful for any person to make, cause to be made, any, quote, excessive, unusually loud noise which annoys, disturbs, injures, or endangers the comfort, repose, health, peace, or safety of a reasonable person within the city." Elsewhere in the code, it states, quote, "It shall be unlawful for any person to use, operate any electronic device, radio receiving set, or other machine or device producing sound in such a manner as to disturb the peace, quiet, and comfort of a reasonable person." Section 15298 regarding emergency generators states, quote, "The generator shall be contained in an enclosed cabinet that provides sound attenuation, and the decibel level shall not exceed 75 decibels at the property line." All this is to say is that Fairway has a solid history of balancing necessary noise levels and the comfort and health of their citizens. Our neighboring cities have noise ordinances, but three that are closest, Mission Hills, Westwood Hills, and Mission Woods, and I contacted each of them for some information, have evening hours that curtail noise much more than we do. On Monday through Thursdays, Westwood Hills, Mission Hills, and Mission Woods have a limit at 8 p.m. compared to our 9 p.m. Curtailment. On Fridays and Saturdays, Mission Woods restricts noise at 5 p.m. Mission Hills and Westwood Hills restricted to 6 p.m., 3 and 4 more hours of quiet time than we currently have. These restrictions allow residents to truly enjoy their weekend evenings outside, having dinner, barbecuing, or just relaxing. Sundays in these cities have the most restrictive times. Mission Hills has no noise permitted, which only goes back, I don't want to misstate anything. We'll just leave it at that. While Westwood Hills and Mission Woods restrict it to before 5 p.m. Again, this provides a quiet evening's respite before starting a new week. I would propose that the council consider moving our times closer to the evening times of these neighboring communities, especially on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Thank you for letting me speak to you tonight.
Thank you. We appreciate that information. Anyone else? Nathan, is there anyone online?
If there's anyone online who'd like to make a public comment, please use the raise hand feature now.
Seeing no one, we will close the public comment for this evening, and I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
But actually, Mayor, you would just adjourn the meeting because
Oh,
we can't take any action.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, my fault. We're adjourned. Nope. Didn't think of that. Well,